Welcome into Clear Picture Financial. Your host is Jason Noble. You can find him at Prime Capital Investment Advisors. He's a fiduciary advisor. He holds his FINRA Series 66 securities registration, certified financial planner, and retired income certified professional with 18 years in the financial arena, helping his clients get ready for retirement. I'm Morgan Patrick, consumer advocate, and each and every week we hit the retirement topics, but we also give you an opportunity to get on the calendar with Jason Noble at Prime Capital Investment Advisors, and that's no cost, no obligation, and no pressure. See where you are in your retirement planning process. And we've got some news on that note. Before we get into the meat of this, Jason, you've had response, so we are opening that up a little bit, aren't we?
We sure are. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, those 5 spots are going really quickly, and that tells me there's a lot of people out there that are looking for this type of help. They're resonating. What we're talking about on today's show is resonating, Morgan. And so we're opening it up to 10 spots. I talked to my staff about this. We're all on board. Our job is to be in the corners of our clients and those who reach out. So expanding out to 10 is going to put more on us, and we're standing up to that challenge.
Okay, well, there you go. We'll open those up here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for it. And again, no cost, no obligation, and simply no pressure. See where you are in your retirement planning process. All right, the current rate of inflation in the U.S. is, hold on to your hat, 8.2%. That's slightly lower than last month, but it's a far cry from 1.3% back in August of 2020. Now, we've put together some strategies to kind of help you navigate that highest inflation we've seen in 40 years. And before we get to those tips, let's go to Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve of the United States, announcing another Fed interest rate hike to help curb inflation. He says it's not going to happen quickly.
So I don't know what the odds are. I think that there's a very high likelihood that we'll have a period of what I've mentioned is below trend growth, by which I mean much lower growth, and we're seeing that now. So the median forecast, I think, this year for among my colleagues and me was 0.2% growth. So that's very slow growth, and then below trend next year. I think the median was 1.2, also well below. So that's a slower. It's a very slow level of growth, and it could give rise to increases in unemployment.
Again, Chair, Federal Reserve Jerome Powell speaking recently, and he also added, Jason, that the rate hikes aren't over yet.
Yeah, Morgan, it seems like he's hedging when he says he doesn't know what the odds are, but then he says it's a high likelihood for slow growth. I just want to speak to the listeners for a little bit here. It is my belief that the Federal Reserve will raise rates to a point it would cause pain to the balance sheets on these corporations, causing employers to cut staff, increasing unemployment beyond the Fed's expectations and targets, adding further pressure to the U.S. economy. My job is to help my clients manage their economy, though, their own personal finances during this tough environment. So that's why we're going to expand from 5 time slots for our listeners to 10 now. Now, Morgan, last Monday and Wednesday, my staff and I worked half days. Do you know what I mean by half days?
Wait a minute. Did you go play golf? What are you doing half days?
Exactly the opposite, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Well, not to say that I wouldn't love to go.
12-hour day.
12-hour days. Why is this? Because we're not hiding behind our phones. We're actually picking them up, and we're reaching out to our clients and those that call in to make sure everyone is having a chance to review their financial plan and see how best to navigate these markets on their own financial futures. It's times like these that separate, in my opinion, the average financial planner from the great planners. And those that don't take those calls and don't put that time into meeting with their clients, playing that golf instead, nothing against golf, but playing that golf instead, do that for the weekend, right? But not during your client's time. The clients are hiring you to be there for them, right? And I personally believe they're letting their clients down by doing that. I want to take a moment to thank my wife and family for their support and having me work these hours, spending time with my clients and not with them, as they know how important it is for me to be at work right now. As my listeners have heard before, and something my wife Rachel knows, my mantra is, a noble man makes a noble plans, and by noble deeds they stand. That's Isaiah 32, verse 8. Standing by my financial plans and being here with my incredible and dedicated team and us living up to the focus of our clients is something I'm so proud of. So thanks for letting me get that off my chest, Morgan. I'm looking forward to now discussing maybe some ways that we can handle inflation through retirement.
Just don't take shots at golf, weekend golf, okay? Weekend golf's okay, right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I do play golf on the weekends. I'm a little busy during the week, as you are too, and your staff. But talking about strategies, we talked about that inflation rate, 8.2%. Those are huge numbers. People are really it's going to hit them, that it's going to impact their retirement. So strategies to navigate this inflation. First one, look for spending patterns that you have.
Yes, rather than looking at what you've spent in the last 2 weeks, go through your bank and credit card statements from the last 3 to 6 months. Make a list of all the money that you've spent. We'll see if your expenses have trended upwards during the last months and if you can evaluate the increase over time. This will give you an idea how inflation has been impacting your total payments. We have a website that we provide our clients. It's our client portal that they link their checking and savings and credit card accounts, and they get right then and there their spending patterns over the last whatever time frame they want to look at. It's scary when you look at over a year, so don't do that. But look over 3 months, 6 months, and you're getting a good, accurate prediction of how your money's being spent.
Inflation, very concerning for so many of us out there. I went out to dinner the other night, ordered my normal Cobb salad, did not look at the menu price. Cobb salad, $18 for a salad. The numbers are up there, folks. Inflation is going to impact you. We are going to see the numbers come down, but it's going to take some time. Talking about strategies to navigate inflation. So looking for those spending patterns. What about this one? Do an in-depth budget analysis. You kind of already hit on that because you're going to take a look at how you're spending, but really dig into your budget.
Yeah, this is where it's time to think about fixed and variable expenses. Fixed costs tend to be relatively consistent from month to month. They can include your rent or mortgage, utility bills, phone bills, cable payments, insurance expenses, and et cetera. Your variable costs are those that change, such as your spending on groceries or eating out. They also consist of entertainment, hobbies, or even clothing. For budgets that are in the red, look at your variable expenses and see if there's anything that could be cut or reduced. If you have extra, you might want to pay off debt or put that into an emergency fund.
Tell you folks, it's so important to have a plan. We're just talking about inflation and how you can navigate that, but there's so much that goes into your retirement. Make sure you have a plan that is customized to you. There's going to be that opportunity to get on the calendar with our friends at Prime Capital Investment Advisors, where you can find Jason Noble, the host of this program. And I tell you, due to response, we've opened it from 5 to 10 positions on the calendar for the upcoming week. We'll open those up here in just a little bit. So let's get back to these strategies. We talked about, look at your spending patterns, do an in-depth budget analysis, and maybe if you've got some major expenses on the horizon early on in retirement, maybe you push those back, Jason.
Yeah, with this market we're in, if you're planning to take an extended vacation but haven't paid for it yet, you could postpone that trip. Right? No one wants to do that, but it's an important thing to consider. The same is true for luxury purchases like a new boat or a home remodeling project. If it's hard to make it from month to month, you might put those funds towards the day-to-day living.
This next one, very important, because we've saved our entire lives for retirement and we're getting ready to retire. It's a very nervous time. Inflation is high. This is a strategy. Maybe you stay away from selling your stocks and maybe you have that cash, emergency fund and you lean on that a bit.
Absolutely right. If you have access to cash, it might be time to spend those funds rather than selling off stocks or making extra withdrawals from retirement accounts. When using cash to cover expenses, pay attention to every expense. Stretching dollars during an inflationary period could help you get through this uncertain time.
Next two kind of go together, so let's lump them together. Really take a look at how possibly relocating could help you out. And in the process of relocating, or if you stay put, you could downsize. These two kind of go together.
Yes, if you own your home or have paid off the mortgage or close to paying it off, you have accumulated equity in the property. In areas where housing prices are on the rise, which is a lot of places, you might be able to sell your home and move to an area that's less expensive. Research cities that are known for being affordable places to retire and think about your lifestyle in the new places. And then you can also consider downsizing. For those who want to remain in the same town or smaller homes might want to reduce the expenses, looking for neighborhoods that cater to retirees or condo communities that are close to supermarkets and services. That'll be some things that you would want to consider. You could also sell your current residence and some of the furniture that won't fit into the new place. I had just had a conversation last Monday at 7 o'clock at night with my clients that are in New York. And what they're doing is they're moving down to Florida. Now, I said, what is the purchase price that you're looking for in Florida? One person said $350,000. The other one said $300,000. One that said $350,000 was looking at maintaining the same size of house. The one that said $300,000 is looking at having a smaller home, talking about the downsizing. We ran both scenarios and showed them that they could go either way, which is awesome that they have that choice. I will let you guys know what they decided later on.
Okay. All right. Well, again, these are strategies to kind of help navigate inflation. There's a lot to navigate in retirement. We're just focusing on inflation because right now it's a 40-year high at 8.2%. It's going to come down a little bit, but it's going to impact your retirement. The last one is, and this is a tip that everybody should really take a look at, and that's just make sure you're checking in on that portfolio.
Yeah, and I'll just say it could be hard to know how long inflationary periods last. While some experts have made estimates, history tells us that inflation ebbs and flows over time. By taking measures now, you'll be able to continue living off your fixed income and prepare for the coming years. Okay,
now we've got not 5 spots on the calendar. We've opened that up. We have 10 positions at Prime Capital Investment Advisors because the phone's ringing off the hook, folks. People are concerned. We get it. You're concerned. You're going to call us right now. But what's going to happen for these 10 positions next week? What's going to happen for those appointments?
Yeah, Morgan, it was an incredible response over the last couple of weeks. We had 5 spots filled by the first radio break. So this is why we're expanding it to 10 callers. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do an initial financial review that will indicate if you're in need of a full-blown wealth plan. There's absolutely no cost or obligation for our listeners, but you do have to call or text right now. And these 10 spots will go quickly. This analysis will review your current portfolio's risk and expected return assessment, which is so important to review right now in today's market. Next, we're going to review your taxes to see if there's any ways that we can reduce your taxes and increase your cash flow. That would put more money in your pocket that I think we all could use right now. Mm-hmm. We'll also create that tailored retirement income plan using approaches and techniques that can really put a peace of mind to your retirement plan for the rest of your life. Let us help you take the guesswork out of your retirement planning, as I know these 10 spots will go quickly. Morgan, can you please give them the information so they can reach out to schedule this conversation?
Absolutely. 10 positions. Get in here right now. Here's the number, 800-948-1216. That's 800-948-1216. Or you can text NOBLE to 600-700. That's NOBLE to 600-700. Get in line. Get your core values meeting set up right now. 800-948-1216. That's 800-948-1216. Or you can text NOBLE to 600-700. That's NOBLE to 600-700. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk more retirement right here on Prime Capital Investment Advisors sponsored Clear Picture Financial. That's coming up next.